Recently, the cute bionic 80s sitcom known as Small Wonder turned 35. And now prepare yourselves because I'm about to rank the second season right now. Bad Days, Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to y'all as the Big D. Now, before I get started, I want to apologize because I made an error in the last video because I thought today was the day I was going to do the Thundercats TV log. Well, that was a mistake. It's for the next video, so I humbly apologize. But for now, this video is on my ranking of my favorite episodes of the second season of Small Wonder. After the success of the first season, it got picked up for a second season. Yes, as I currently have this from Shout Factory, even though it was a manufacturer on demand title, I'm gonna say I do like the second season. Not quite as much as the first one, but it does have lots of good episodes. Now, like the first season, I ranked 12 out of the 24 episodes produced for the season of the show. It's starring Tiffany Brissett as Vicky Lawson, along with Dick Christie as Ted Lawson, Marla Payton as Joan Lawson, and Jerry Cyprian as Jamie Lawson, and Emily Schulman as Harriet Brindle. Now then, before I get started, I'm going to give myself a few honorable mentions. Now, let me see here. Okay, now for my honorable mentions, I'm going to give honorable mentions to Vicky Goodwrench, The Personality Kid, Moving Up, and Neighborhood Watch. So, that's it. So now, if you are ready, here we go. Number 12 is Crazy Like a Fox. Now, let me see. Now, this was the 6th episode. And I'm going to tell you, this was a pretty fun episode. Now, this kind of episode deals with a little something like, oh, I don't know, like getting something for cheap, something used that isn't good. Well, that's hard to explain. Something that may not work. And yeah, for a reasonable cost. Well, that's just what happened when Jamie and Vicky runs into Discount Eddie, played by Danny Wells, who was best known for his work on lots of shows, most notably The Jeffersons, and he'd also appear on Silver Spoons, Punky Brewster, and many other sitcoms. Well, before he even played Luigi on the Super Mario Bros. Super Show in 1989, which that happened to be the year the show ended. But anyway, well, after Jamie gets kind of gypped in a way by getting a portable TV set, well, after he and Vicky go grocery shopping, well, learns that it don't work, and well, Ted goes after him and decides to get genuine fox fur for Joan, and well, apparently turns out, well, I'm not going to spill the nuts and bolts on that, almost did, but I think the episode's pretty fun and what have you. I do like, well, some of the fun moments, and well, Harriet's going to stay well, with Jamie and Vicky while their parents are away at a party, and apparently, and Jamie says he's going to watch Dracula and says Harriet shouldn't come because it might scare her, and yeah, it's like Dracula, and it's like, that doesn't scare me. If you were a vampire, my neck would always be at your disposal. Jamie's like, that scares me, and yeah, crazy. And then also during the scene when they're watching the movie, we hear scream. Vicky's like scream, and Harry just slungs over to Jamie, like, she's got her arms around. Jamie's like, I thought you said these movies didn't scare you. It's like, they don't. I just like put my arms around you. Oh boy. That's all he needs. Even so, Crazy Like a Fox, it's a fun episode. Number 11 is Thanksgiving Story. Let's see, what number was that? Okay, this was episode number 12. And, well, I'd say unlike other sitcoms that were out, I don't think there really was much of a Thanksgiving episode for any of these sitcoms I knew of in the 80s. Not even Webster or Punky Brewster or Charles in Charge or Silver Spoons or Out of This World. I don't know if that many sitcoms ever did have a Thanksgiving episode, but this one did, and I think it's pretty good. Well, as Jamie is helping out a boy at his school who happens to be a latchkey kid, because he wears a key around his neck so he can let himself into the house while his mom's working and what have you. Because his dad left them, well, sort of never came back. So, and he's ready to go on a big Thanksgiving ski trip. So, Jamie decides to forge his way into this by pretending he's from a broken home. Boy, it just takes a turn for the worst. Yeah. Anyway, I really do like it when Vicky really makes a bit of a sad face and what have you. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. But it does take a turn for the worse. But again, I won't spill the nuts and bolts on that, okay? But it does, well, turn out to be a good one and what have you. So, in other words, let me just put you in a factual, slight spoiler way. Jamie lies his way to get onto this here trip. Yeah. Gets in real hot water. Now, one of my favorite moments from this is when once Vicky's ran everything that the family's gonna have, all the ingredients from the first ever Thanksgiving. Jamie looks at one of them and asks Ted what it was, venison, and Ted's like, oh yeah, that's deer meat. And Jamie's like, you mean like Bambi? Ted's like, yeah, that's right. It's like, I'm not eating Bambi or any of his relatives. But Thanksgiving Story, I love it. It's a good episode. I always watch it every Thanksgiving. Number 10 is The Shoplifter. Let's see. Sorry, I have to look. I forget sometimes, you know. Now, this was episode 11, and Mrs. Fernwald returns in this episode. This would be her third appearance because after she was in the adoption episode in season 1, she also appeared in the follow-up episode to that called Child Genius. But in this episode, Vicky's learning all about being a shoplifter after it's been reported in the newspaper that, well, young people are shoplifting and what have you. So apparently they're just looking around, and apparently Vicky takes a watch that would be perfect for Joan. But then Jamie learns Vicky took it and they had to return it. And boy, they are caught in the act. Not only that, Ted has to try and fix everything, and apparently Vicky tries to put the watch in Ted's pocket, and well, oh wow, it's crazy because they're about to have a little bit of a birthday, kind of a little bit of a birthday party for Vicky as well. When Mrs. Fernwald reveals that it's Vicky's birthday, yeah. But anyway, The Shoplifter is very good. I like it. It's an absolute fun blast. Oh yeah, Folks, don't mind the lawnmower going outside my room, okay? Okay, that about covers it. Back to the countdown. Number 9 is Little Miss Shopping Mall. This is episode number 18, and this is actually the one and only episode Jerry Cyprian as Jamie does not appear in, because I read on a Small Wonder fan site that Cyprian was ill at the time. But Jamie is mentioned, though, in this episode, where apparently it's going to be a big clash, as Bonnie Brindle is just telling her that Vicky doesn't stand a chance in the Little Miss Shopping Mall competition against Harriet. Well, and Ted's not too thrilled with Vicky being in an ear, but soon after a little bit of another chat with Mrs. Brindle, well, Ted softens up. I gotta tell you, the performance of the Little Miss Shopping Mall was incredible. Although they go up against this girl named Ellen Sue Beasley, who plays When the Saints Go Marching In with One Sour Note or something. Yeah. And Harriet comes out dressed as a bee, doing the fly of a bumblebee, and goes into the chorus of America the Beautiful, and then Vicky's all dressed up and what have you, and heads for. I love the part where she comes out and she leaves her little veil to shoe the piano player, and then she starts playing this song from the opera Carmen. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna tell you who won though. If you've seen the episode, you probably already know. But if you haven't, then I'm not telling you. Now I'll be really spilling the nuts and bolts and what have you. It's a cute episode. I really loved this episode. Number 8 is You Gotta Have Heart. This episode is, let's see here. Oh yes, this is episode number 10. After watching The Wizard of Oz, Vicky wonders if she has a heart. I mean, like what the Tin Man got. But Ted thought, says no, but it's a good idea though. I mean, really something. And Vicky doesn't know much about love, and well, Jamie explains it to him, and he's like, love is stupid, and Joan's like, no, it's not, Jamie. Yes. Oh, really something. Now it goes into one of my favorite parts. Jamie's trying to work out with the monkey bars now outside, replacing that clubhouse in the first season. Harriet comes along, and once Jamie tries to get away from her, he's like, wait, don't you want to do some more pull-ups? I'll be happy to hold your shirt, you big hunk of suede beefcake, you. The look on Harriet's face is absolutely priceless. Sort of. Jamie's like, why don't you go home and ask your mom to hose you down? So Vicky gives Harriet this this bracelet that Joe and Ted gave her, and even one of her shoes. And then the other, they decide to become best friends. Besides, they'll share each other's clothes and secrets and what have you. And then Harriet's like, and when we're older, we can buy a condo in Miami like the Golden Girls and treat men like playthings. Oh wow, they do switch clothes and what have you. It's absolutely crazy. But things do get a little out of hand, but Bonnie decides to be friends, but when she has a fight with Brindle, yeah, and then takes a turn for the worse when they try to make up, but then Brandon moves in. Oh, it just gets more crazier and hectic than ever, but I think you'll like it. I'm not telling you how the last bit goes, cause you're just gonna have to see. But you gotta have heart. It's pretty good. Number 7 is Chewed Out, aka Smoker's Delight. This is the first episode of the second season, and it's pretty good. Now, this episode would definitely teach children less about smoking and stuff like that. There is an episode on drugs, but that's not until the third season. But anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, now I remember. Ted brings home a pack of cigarettes that were planted in his office, and apparently Joan insists he gets rid of them. After they go, after the two go to the store, Jamie and Reggie, well, who are now in junior high, they just can't get along with some of the guys. And Reggie had an idea. He said, "We can prove that we're cool by smoking." Yes, he's seen boys like that do that. Jamie's like, "We don't know how to smoke." This is my favorite part. Vicky says, "I can show you how to smoke." And Jamie's like, "And just where did you learn how to do that?" And explains, "I saw Bay Davis do it in an old movie on TV. You take a cigarette like this, and you put it in your hand like this, and you say, Pita, Pita, Pita." Oh boy, crazy. Yeah. Once Vicky tried it, she just holding in smoke rings coming out of her ears. That's a funny part. Well, Jamie, and to make matters worse, Jamie's not too thrilled with Vicky being his room anymore, so he wants her to move her cabinet over into Ten Jones' room. Then soon they meet with this guy, oh, I forgot his name. It's been some time since I last watched this episode. Pierre, I think his name was. I know he's played by, the guy who played the youngest kid on A Is Enough. And of course he had and who recently also voiced Presto the Magician in the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Yeah, but he tells him smoking's last year's news or something like that. He tells him got something better, chewing tobacco. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just not cool and all. But it really takes a turn for the worst. Vicky spills the nuts and bolts on the cigarettes and whatever, but well, Jamie gets some more hot water and after that chewing tobacco. But the rest, you'll know the story when you see the episode. It's pretty good. And it would definitely teach your kids a lesson. Number 6 is Matchmaker, Matchmaker. This episode is episode 17, and this one's pretty good. Well, Jamie decides to start a new computer dating service with Vicky's help. Apparently, Ernie from the Bully episode is back, and he wants money for his bike and what have you after what Jamie did to it, which I'd rather don't talk about, but because it's been some time since I last saw this episode too, so I do apologize that I haven't really watched all these episodes again. Just my top 5 faves and number 1 faves. Yes. So apparently he has an idea, so he gets Vicky to dress up as kind of a tough girl for Ernie. But not only that, this here, well, other type of a nerdy kid, he really wants a little blonde bombshell, sort of a Marilyn Monroe in his side. So once he gets Vicky away from Ernie, he gets Vicky all dressed up as a mini Marilyn Monroe, which is absolutely cute. Trust me, Vicky looks absolutely cray adorbs. Yeah. And, well, even after Ernie sees what she's becoming, well, that kid really scared him off. Crazy. I think the kid's name was Herb. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, that's it. I may be wrong. But anyway, matchmaker. Well, the dancer turned out to be a bust, which you'll see how that went and what have you. But it's a fun episode, though. Number 5 is Wally the Wimp. Let me check. I believe this was This is episode 21. This features a guest appearance by Jesse Ventura, who, well, the same year this episode came out, appeared in Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. If I may be wrong, I think he was also in The Running Man with Schwarzenegger as well. Of course, he goes under the name of Jesse the Body Ventura. He plays a now changed version of an old classmate of Jones and Ted. Yeah, because he recalls Ted picking on him so much because he was once a skinny loser and what have you. But soon he just decided that, well, he became a professional wrestler using the name of Jesse the Body Ventura. Yeah, and so Joan invites him to come to dinner and tell him, don't tell Ted about what I become. I want to see his reaction. Yeah, John's like, oh, so do I. And Vicky repeated, oh, so do I. Oh, boy. So apparently Ted is really laughing hysterically. So he decides to get some yearbooks up, but once he tells Vicky he's going to pull a fast one by doing a few pranks, including the old duck trick. Which you'll see what that is at the end. I'm not going to tell you how that goes. But anyway, once he sees Wally now grown up as Jesse Ventura, oh boy. And Jamie's happy they shook hands, and it's like, I actually shook hands with Jesse the Body Ventura and lived to tell about it. And once he sees Vicky, he says, shake. And Ted's like, no! And yeah, Vicky's hand acts like a joy buzzer. Oh, that's very funny. And John's like, Ted, how could you? And Ted's like, Vicky, how could you? Oh, that's all we need is more craziness. Uh, a whipped cream trick goes as well. But after that, he decides to have a little fun with Ted, Jesse does, by giving him a little wrestling lesson. Oh, trust me, that's one of the best parts in this movie. Not movie, oops, sorry, episode. Woo! My mistake. But Wally the Wimp is absolutely a hysterical episode. I love it. Number 4 is Paula. This is episode number 9. This one's a real classic. Now, this episode would easily help kids out. Now, Jamie's not too thrilled with helping out Paula Preston, a kid in his class who unfortunately has a stuttering issue. Yeah. He explains that she doesn't stutter for a reason, but because since she's stuck up. And so he tries to do anything, but gives her the answer when she's trying to say it, even though she's stuttering. Poor girl. So Ted has a wild idea and use Vicky to be the one to help out. I mean, because that one of the reasons he created Vicky was to help out with children with disabilities and what have you. And I'm thinking, after watching this episode many times, a part of me wishes I could have had my own Vicky when I was a kid. Shoot, when I was a kid, I had to go to speech therapists and what have you, because I did have the misfortune of pronouncing stuff with a th and replacing it with an f. Yep, terrible. But however, that's the past. But again, having my own Vicky to help me with that would be pretty cool. And, well, apparently she manages to help Paula get over her stuttering issue and give her book report. Anyway, this episode is absolutely good. I do love it. Number 3 is the cat's meow. This is episode number 22. Apparently, well, Vicky's feeling unhappy a bit. Well, when Joan tells Ted that she doesn't have a friend or a toy to play with, but soon he comes home with one. A robot cat that responds to voice command. Of course, the cat is a toy cat that's on wheels. Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. But unfortunately, as it turns out, when the Lawsons are trying to pay more attention, and Vicky's being a show off, boy, Vicky gets jealous. The sibling rivalry ring a bell? Yeah, because some of the plot of that story is actually mentioned in that episode. But anyway, Vicky's just more unhappy. Feels like the Lawsons don't love her anymore. So she leaves. And once the second act begins, she's just pacing around the backyard. Harriet decides to get her to go where. And apparently now Vicky's trying to making Harriet jealous and what have you. Gets upset at her mom because after she tells Vicky that she'll cook her a TV dinner, Harriet's like, cook it? You don't even defrost mine. I'm the only kid in the neighborhood who has to lick dinner. And then puts Vicky in Harriet's bed. It's like, we'll start by getting into Betty by and we'll have a little nappy poo before then. Harriet is more ticked off than ever. So, you never do Betty by nappy poo with me. You just yell, get your buns between the sheets. And to make matters a little, I don't know. Well, Buddy decides to read one of Harriet's books, and it turns out to be one called Love's Flaming Desire. Oh my gosh. Now that's something you probably don't see every day. A young kid reading a romance novel? Come on. Oh man, and Harriet decides to just leave and go next door. Well, soon the Lawsons decide to turn things around. That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to spill the nuts and bolts on how that ends, but it's absolutely hysterical. It's funny. Number 2 is Top Secret. This is episode 15. This one is a classic. I gotta tell you, now this, I want to say, is probably one of the funniest episodes I have seen a whole lot of. Even though that's the one season 2 episode I've watched more times than any other, but well, it doesn't have much the strength to get to it because I wanted a special episode on top. Anyway, well, things are going wild around the Lawson household. Ted manages to try to get away for not fixing Joan's blender. He tries it, and well, soon he decides to tell Jamie that this was part of a special space project. Even though when he tells them that Reggie and some of the other guys are making fun of him because, well, one of them says his dad's a button pusher. So apparently, not only that, but Harriet brings along a little pocket turtle. Yeah, but that'll be for later on. It starts out pretty funny, but let's see. Oh yeah. So Ted reveals to him that he's trying to create Project Blender, but apparently it's just a little something to try and prevent him from making his friends say that his dad's a button pusher. So apparently, Vicky unfortunately spills the nuts and bolts to everyone, even Harriet. Brandon's not even aware once Harriet blurts out to him. So Ted tells him he'll have to tell Jamie the truth sometime. And apparently, Brandon comes along and takes the blender. Now, now it goes to my favorite part, and Jamie's showing Vicky one of his books. Harriet comes along and tries to make her turtle to grow over and play dead. Real silly. Vicky's like, "What is dead?" And Harriet's like, "Are you kidding? Don't you ever watch General Hospital?" And Jamie's like, "Harriet, she's led kind of a sheltered life." She says to Vicky, "There's life, then there's death." A little buzzing fly comes along and she whaps it, reveals life and death. But as you can imagine, Vicky takes the book and, you guessed it, whaps the pocket turtle. Boy, Vicky really did. And Harriet's like wailing, wailing like crazy. I laughed my crazy head off at that scene. My face was turning red. Oh boy. Yeah, but soon something else in the household breaks down, but well, again, but that's close to the ending. I'm not gonna spill the nuts and bolts on that. So top secret, it's classic. It's absolutely funny. Number one is Double Wedding. Now, this is the 24th and final episode of the second season. And I gotta say, I really love this episode. This is probably one of the most special episodes of Small Wonder. Tan and Joan decide to renew their vows, and after Vicky reveals this to Harriet, she tells her folks, of course, they think they haven't even been married and what have you. But they explain everything, and so Bonnie decides they should throw a double wedding. Oh boy, it's crazy. It gets really hectic later on as this bring in some of their friends, some of Bonnie's bowling gal pals, the gutter gals, and three members of the Caribou Lodge that Brandon's a part of, whose catchphrase is Ooga Mooga, which is the title of an episode from season 3. You'll see that on my season 3 ranking. Just thought I'd give you an early slight spoiler heads up on the next ranking. Oh, but it takes a turn for the worse. But in the end, Ted and John do renew their vows, even without much of anyone there. But I'm not going to explain how that goes. But it's absolutely funny. I especially like the beginning of the second act. Well, they're collecting cans and taking them to recycling center for lots of mice. And Jamie wishes they could just like jump in his hand like it's a magnet and zap. And Vicky's like, "Magnet, I can do that." And it's like, huh? It's like she could turn down her radiothermic generator and like this zap and see? The can swoops, zaps into her hand. Wow. That's a real fun thing. So anyway, Double Wing. I do love it. I do love this episode. It's great. And that's it. That's my ranking of my favorite episodes of the second season of Small Wonder. Now, what's your favorite episode of the second season? Do you like any of these episodes? Please feel free to tell me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Next time I will really do my TV log of Thundercats, because tomorrow on the 9th of September will be the show's 35th anniversary. So be on the lookout for that. And on Thursday, I'll be back on the rankings of Small Wonder with the 3rd season. So thank you very much for watching. Now, if you like this, you can see these other fun-filled videos. In the upper left-hand corner is my TV log of Mr. Belvedere that I did for its 35th anniversary earlier this year. In the upper right hand corner is my ranking of favorite episodes from the second season of Punky Brewster. And if you didn't catch it recently, the bottom left hand corner is my ranking of the first season episodes of Small Wonder. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.